So yes, hello guys, good evening. Welcome back to Margdarshan by IITians. So guys, today with us Mr. Rajshekhar Panga. He is from IIT Kharagpur. So he is going to face his CPCL interview, Chennai Petroleum Corporation Limited. So yes, Mr. Rajshekhar, please introduce yourself.
So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity, sir. Uh, Myself, Panga Rajshekhar, I am from Practise district, Andhra Pradesh. I completed my graduation from the Rajiv Gandhi University of Knowledge Technologies in the Vijayawada. Now, currently, I am doing my MTech second in the Department of Chemical Engineering from IIT Kharagpur. Now, we are in the second, we are doing a MTech project on the acrylic coating, and it's for studying its anti-fouling properties. And there's one more topic, droplet dynamics on the superhydrophilic surface. We actually going to publish the papers on these two topics now. And coming to my family, my father is a farmer and my mother is a daily wage worker. And my hobbies are uh, uh, mm, playing cricket and listening to music and doing cooking and doing farming. Actually, being coming from a family background, farming
Okay.
background, doing farming also hobbies.
Okay. Just repeat the topic of your project, please. It was not hearable to
Uh,
me.
Okay, my topic is synthesis of electrolysis coating and studying its application parts like corrosion and fouling properties in the on the heat exchanger actually.
And what was the second one? You said something about droplet on super
I
hydrophobic
mean,
surface.
effect of the roughness surface, how the effect of roughness surface on the droplet dynamics, super hydrophobic surface.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, Rajshekhar, what do you know about CPCL?
So actually, CPCL means Chennai Petroleum Corporation, it formerly known as Madras Refinery Limited. Actually, it's a joint venture formed by the government of India and EMOCO and National Iranian Oil Company. Actually, started in 18th November 1965. It's a mini Ratna company. Later, actually, it becomes a subsidiary of IOCL in the 2001 under the ownership of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Sri Srikanth Madhavidya sir was the chairman for the CPCL and Arvind Kumar sir was the managing director. And the products of it has a total capacity of 12.1 MMTPA by 2020. And it has two refineries, Manali refineries and Nagapatnam refineries on the Kaveri basin. Now, actually, they are going to plan extend the Nagapatnam refineries from 1 MMTPA to the 9 MMTPA by dismantling. The main products from the CPCL are LPG, motor spirit, and aviation fuel, kerosene, and diesel. They are also producing they have polypropylene plant actually used to produce the feedstock for the petrochemical products and also producing the different special products like hexane, lube oils, and they have in the CPCL there are a variety of units like hydrocracking unit, FCC unit, and the delayed coker unit. Uh, Hydro treating unit and the sulfur recovery unit, hydrogen generation unit. These are the main units actually using and they have polypropylene. So they are going to produce the petrochemical feedstocks actually for the near areas like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, or for all these states. And and the CPCL as a many like divisions like refinery division and R&D division that are focusing mainly on crude assay and the development of the catalyst. And they are working on the biofuels now. Actually, the crude oil will be exhausted. They are working on the biofuels and the solvent extractions. And mm,
Okay.
actually, okay.
Okay. Yes, please continue what you are saying. Please continue.
The Manali refinery actually is the main unit. Actually, it was around 10.5 MMTPA. It has a continuous three distillation units, only processing of crude oil and blue oil based one. This all about CPCL introduction.
You are repeatedly saying MMTPA. What is MMTPA?
MMTPA meant metric cube ton per year, sir. Per 1 year, actually, how much they are processing? Metric cube per ton per year.
Okay. So as you said, biofuel. So can you explain me what is biofuel?
So biofuels means actually which are actually produced from the biomass. Like we can have a lot of biomass actually which is coming from the agriculture land wastage like bagasi biofuels. Wastage actually we consider the wastage actually from the farming actually we can consider straws from the paddy and many biofuels like bagasi from the different wastage actually they are actually converting this into the production of bioethanol. Actually nowadays India is going to blending the bioethanol with 20% of ethanol with the our gasoline like this product. So it actually reduces the cost of petrol, and also because it saves around $4 billion per dollar for each year for our Indian government, and also it actually leads to decrease the production of the gases like CO and CO2 and the hydrocarbons from the vehicles. That's what the one of the big advantages for the uh, uh, keeping our environment free from the emission of these gases. And like it also useful for the farmers. Actually, we are also being from a farmer background, we are actually used to fight the wastage actually in the farmers. It actually leads to the pollution, so they can sell the this bio waste to the industries to produce the blending of gas and all things. Recently, G20 also they are also discussing about the biofuels actually. I mean third generation biofuels, which is actually coming from the algae actually, micro algae.
Okay, so how is it different from fossil fuel?
Fossil fuels means it's a direction, sir. Direct like fossil fuels it actually direct from the crude oil. Actually, biofuels means it actually deriving from the wastage. Actually, that's the second generation. And the first generation means we are actually producing from the direct foodstuffs like what we are eating, like wheat, whatever the food product that actually contains sugar content that actually convert into the bio. That's your first generation. Second generation from the wastage. Third generation from the microalgae. Fossil fuel means we are actually deriving from the crude oil products that actually the more emission of the gases into the atmosphere. So,
Yes, that was great, Rajshekhar. So, as you mentioned, what fluid catalytic cracking, as well as
yes, sir.
so, please explain what is fluid catalytic cracking or FCC unit. Please
So
brief me.
actually, fluid catalytic processing, these are the upgradation units, secondary processing units. Actually, whatever the straight line naphtha, gasoline, kerosene, that actually from the main distillation units that are actually not those not meet the customer requirements. Actually, we want the gasoline and diesel actually with a high octane and the high CTM, because then only the quality of fuel was very high. So for that, actually, these are the secondary processing unit in order to increase the octane number and CTM number. Fluid catalytic cracking mainly is to increase the octane number of the gasoline by making cracking the heavy carbons that actually cracked with the help of the catalyst, and it also contains the regeneration unit for the catalyst. So when we process the heavy compounds into the catalyst into the cracking unit, it will crack the products, and it will later we will separate those products into lighter components, because our main aim is to get the lower high value products like gasoline, naphtha. These are the high value products. So for this we do cracking along with the regeneration of the catalyst. If the coke forms of the catalyst, that will be regenerated with nearby side. And then there's a endothermic reaction take place in the cracking, and exothermic reaction that actually takes place in the regeneration process. Main purpose is to convert the heavy products into lighter products, to increase
Is
the
it
octane. But the octane,
is it
So
the
can you
octane
cracking
talk
number
or like
about,
yes, the
is very
reaction
high.
basically taking place? Yes, calm down.
so
The
you
reaction
talked
basically,
about, yeah,
yes,
Jay
sir.
sir, please continue.
Okay,
आप
as you
continue
said,
करो.
the reaction basically taking place in the reaction is taking place is cracking, right? In the reactor. Okay, as you explained, there are two main units. Okay, so two
Yeah,
main units basically in the fluid catalytic cracking. Okay, which is
yes,
one
sir.
is reactor and another is regenerator. In reactor, basically your cracking reaction takes place and in regenerator, basically
In the
regeneration
surface complex.
of yes, regeneration reactions takes place. Okay, so that is okay. Uh, so I was expecting something else. Okay, like you were I would be मैं थोड़ा आपको बता देना चाहता हूँ. Okay, Rajshekhar, like you are explaining the things, but you are repeatedly saying the same thing. Okay, so
I
do
mean,
not
it's getting way too much lengthy,
yes, and you
Okay.
are
it's
elongating the
hard for
answer.
us. Yeah.
You are elongating the answer. So do not elongate the answer, which is I would be suggesting be stick to the same point and stay same answer, which you know. Okay, do not elongate every answer. That's why I
Okay.
interrupted. Okay. So next
Okay.
question is, can you explain the significance of distillation in refinery operation?
Okay, wait, because we were on gasoline, let me just
Yes.
come up with one question. So you just mentioned the octane number, okay? So in earlier
Yes, sir.
days, something used to be added in gasoline to increase its octane number.
Additives, some additives like MTP.
Yes. So what was the additives in earlier days, back in let's say 1900 or something like that?
So actually, I know some compounds like MTP is one of the additives to increase the octane number.
Okay.
And
Okay, here is one more hint. It is now banned. We don't add that particular, you can say, thing in our gasoline
What?
to
I'm
increase
not
the
able to
octane
hear
number.
you.
Okay, so there was a compound that used to be added in gasoline to increase its octane number. It is
Gasoline.
now banned.
This
Okay, so it was lead. Do you know lead used to be added in gasoline?
yes,
Yes. So now it is banned because lead is not, good for us health-wise.
yes,
It's
yes.
sticky
Lady
in
is
our
not
bone and
desirable
like
also.
exactly. So lead has been banned since like I think 2000 or 2001, something like that. So you should just
Yes, sir.
know this thing that yes, lead used to be
Okay.
added in gasoline in earlier days. Now it's banned. Yeah.
Okay,
Jaiswal,
lady.
please
Okay.
continue.
Okay. So Rajshekhar, I was with like, what is the significance of distillation in refinery operation? So can you answer this question?
The purpose of the distillation means the separation of the crude oil. Crude oil is having components of more than 10 power 8 components. So in order to separate that, we use the fractional distillation to get our desired components like based on the actually based on the relative difference in the relative volatilities by supplying the heat energy, it separates the compounds from the feed mixture.
Correct.
Okay. Like you also mentioned catalytic cracking and hydrotreating. Okay. Hydrotreating unit
Yes.
as well. Okay. So can you tell me like how these units basically improves the efficiency and environmental performance?
So hydrotreating mainly used to do actually to remove the sulfur condenser. Actually, based on the BS6 fuel, we need to reduce the sulfur from the engines less than 10 ppm. For that purpose, actually, this hydrotreating was very useful to remove the sulfur content, nitrogen content, because it also contains nitrous oxides also. These are, reduce the pollution in the environment.
Okay, that
Okay.
basically pollution
And
is
also,
reduced.
the sulfur that present actually leads to the poisons of the catalyst corrosion.
Hmm.
So that's why we used to do hydrotreating before doing the cracking process, not avoid the violence of the catalyst.
So yes, sir. So please continue some questions.
Okay, so you said you are in second year of your chemical
Yes,
MTech,
sir.
right? So now,
Yes, sir.
given a chance that you are offered a position at CPCL, would you leave
Yes,
your
sir.
degree in between?
Yes, sir, definitely. Because actually, my aim is this MTech is an optional for me, sir. Actually, the joining of PSU that actually coming from me actually in my BTech days only. But I don't after completion of my fourth year, I don't have any opportunity to get any interview for the PSUs. But now then only that's why actually I again write the for go for the gate exam in the first year also, because in the my second year also I felt I picture myself to join PSCs like CPCL. These are the prestigious and the securities, and we can use our knowledge to convert into industrial knowledge, and the most reputational companies these are PSCs and all these things. That's why without any doubt I will join PSC PCL.
Okay, good. So, CPCL or we can say IOCL in general,
Yes,
it mainly work in the distribution side. Okay, it
yes,
doesn't work in the extraction side. So for that we have ONGC type of organization
yes,
there.
yes.
So do you know oil rig where the oil is extracted?
Oil ONGC, sir.
Oil rig where the oil is extracted from the
Yes,
deep
yes.
ocean.
Yeah, oil.
Correct. So my correct. So my question is how energy is produced on the oil rig? We need electricity. We need for a general purposes. We need energy there on an oil rig, and it is so far away from the mainland that we don't provide that using wires and all cables and all. So how do we get the energy at that oil rig? Did you get my question?
For the transportation, we use pumps actually for the fluid. But
Correct. Yes, see, you need electricity, right? So how do we generate the electricity at such a remote location? Okay, how do we generate electricity otherwise? We have power plants.
power plants, nuclear power
Correct.
plants.
Correct. So what do we use in power plant? Can you explain the cycle?
For 1 second. The steam actually generated from the boilers.
Correct?
I forgot the actually it's sent to the turbines actually to create the
Correct?
first we actually generate the steam that actually sent to the turbine to generate the energy.
Correct? It is called as a Rankine cycle. Does it click
Yes.
something?
Yes, I am forgot that cycle actually. I studied, but
Okay, fine. Okay,
you must
fine.
also.
So I'll shift to some another topic. So what is zeroth law of thermodynamics?
Zeroth law of thermodynamics tells about the thermal equilibrium. Sir, actually, when three bodies are there, I mean, there are two bodies A and B, which is in thermal equilibrium. So third body like C, then A and B are also in thermal equilibrium. That actually tells about
Correct.
thermal equilibrium. Only tells about thermal
Correct.
equilibrium.
And what is application of zeroth law of thermodynamics?
Application means
What's the purpose of it? Why does it exist? Like, what's the application? Where do we use it?
I mean, you know the temperature only. Measuring the temperature by using thermometer.
Correct.
Body
Correct.
from
So,
body.
right. That's what I
That
was
actually
expecting.
exists in thermal equilibrium. Then only we know the temperature of our body with the thermometer.
Correct. So I'll ask a very basic question. What second law of thermodynamics? How would you, state it?
So second law of thermodynamics tells about the entropy actually mainly. Entropy disorderness of the system, and also tells
Correct.
about heat pump and um, heat pump and refrigerator, and mainly engine actually. Mainly there are two statements for the second law actually. One is Kelvin Planck statement or Cauchy statement. One is tells about the engine, about the efficiency of the engine never be equal to one when it's operating in a reversible manner also. And the second one tells about the heat pump actually. For in order to move the energy from low temperature to high temperature, we always need to give some extra energy.
Are these two statements different or they are essentially the same?
Heat pump and the refrigerator actually both works on the same principle. But actually, the purpose, if you want to cool, keeping
No,
our
no,
body,
that's not my question. I am asking the two statement. One is Kelvin Planck, another one
yes, sir.
is the other one. So are
Yes,
these two statements
yes, yes.
same or they are different?
Are two statements?
Same. Are they exactly
No,
same
actually, one
statements
is
or they are
telling,
different?
one is telling about the heat engine, and second one is telling heat pumps and refrigerator.
Okay, no. So it's not correct actually. They are essentially same statements, but they have been arranged in a different manner. One talks about heat engine, one talks about
Okay.
refrigeration cycle, but essentially, they state the exact same thing, which is second law of thermodynamics.
Okay.
But there is, as you said, second law of thermodynamics deals with entropy, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in none of these two statements, entropy comes. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, can you give me any statement of second law of thermodynamics wherein entropy comes into the picture?
Uh, it actually tells a bit. Entropy means the total disorder actually in the universe
Correct.
when we are doing. Because I did not study that much. I forgot. So actually, there's a Cauchy's law actually, the cycling dq by dt that actually tells whether less
Correct. You are
than
in right direction. You are in right direction. Again,
that
the Clausius inequality, it doesn't talk about
that's
entropy as a specific, but it says the dq by t quantity for a circle,
yes,
for a cycle will be negative always.
for a reversible and that actually tells it should not be greater than zero definitely.
Correct. It should be always negative or it could be zero for a reversible one. So, in terms of entropy, the second law can be stated very basically as entropy of an isolated state system will always increase or remains constant. Have you heard this statement?
Entropy of an isolated system, sir, always
Always increases or remains constant.
uh, I forgot. Maybe I think I had, but
Okay, so this is actually the crux of second law. Maybe you could, go through this particular topic again. As you said that you didn't study it much. Okay, that's all
yes,
right.
sir.
So, what are the ways of heat transfer? What are the
Heat transfer, actually, basically, there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. In conduction,
correct.
the transfer of energy from the hotter layer to the colder layer just because of the molecular interaction without any fluid motion. But in the convection, there's a fluid motion that actually drives the heat transfer from the solid to the fluid because there's a temperature difference. Example, heating of the layer. And in the convections, we have two natural and based on the bulk motion, natural convection, forced convection. And radiation can be defined as the energy emitted by any matter in the form of electromagnetic waves in the range of wavelength 0.1 to 100 micrometer like this. And any body about absolute zero temperature can emit radiation in the form of thermal rays. That's called radiative heat transfer.
Correct, correct. In convection, let's say this is a question for you. Let's say there is a rod, cylindrical
Yes,
rod.
sir.
It has a temperature T, which is greater than the surrounding temperature.
Yes.
So naturally, if I keep it in the air, it will cool down
Yes, sir.
using convection.
Yes, sir.
Now there are two cases, case A, case B. In case A, the rod is placed horizontally,
Okay.
and in case B, the rod is placed vertically.
Okay.
In which case the rod will cool down faster?
I think both cool in the same way, actually, I think.
Okay.
Because
So in
natural
one case,
convection.
correct. In one case we have a horizontal rod, in another case we have a vertical rod. Okay, so in vertical rod, what will happen, on the bottommost part of the rod?
So actually, there's a
A,
separation of the boundary layer from the top to bottom.
correct. So let's say let's imagine only the bottom part. The natural convection will happen there in the bottom part, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the air surrounding it will get heated.
Yes.
And where will that air travel? The heated air.
The density, because the heated air has the less density that moves forward, that moves very high to large height, and again the recirculation of the general happens because of the density difference of the
No,
air.
there won't be recirculation. Let's not go into that, deep. But the bottommost layer of air, it will be now less dense because it's heated.
Yes, sir.
Correct, and it will travel upwards, right?
Yes, sir. Because of
So
the
what do
density,
you
low
think?
density.
Correct. It will travel upwards. So what do you think? Is there a natural convection for the upper part of the rod, or that's a forced convection now?
I think the convection takes place whole rod, I think, because it was heat, contact with the ambient air.
Are you getting it? You see, so we have a rod, and the
Yes, sir.
bottom part of the rod, it heated the air surrounding it. Now that air is
Yes,
traveling
sir.
upwards. So for the topmost part of the rod, is it now a natural convection or a forced convection?
It's a natural convection on this.
No, it will be forced convection because flowing air is coming from
Yeah.
downwards.
Okay.
Are
But
you getting it?
for forced also, we are not doing any external pump or like this.
No, we are not doing anything, but it is being generated
It
by its
actually
own.
creates itself.
Exactly, but it's still called as forced convection in this
So actually,
case.
no, there's a convection also take place at the top rod also, natural convection.
Yes, it does, but always the natural convection will be on a lower level than that of a forced convection.
Okay.
Okay,
These
so
natural convection current that makes the forced convection to the top, I think.
exactly.
Because of the flow.
So this will improve the heat transfer rate. So which one will
Yeah.
cool down faster? Which one will cool down faster?
You are saying horizontal and vertical.
Yes, which rod will cool down faster?
I think both are. Vertical only maybe because of the
Vertical.
there's a forced.
Yeah, because there is a combination of natural and forced convection in a vertical rod, but in a horizontal rod, it's only natural convection.
Yes, sir.
Clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, sir?
Yes. Rajshekhar, what do you know
Yes,
about
sir.
what do you know about heat exchanger? How many types of heat exchangers are there?
So heat exchanger in basically a device actually used to transfer the fluid from one fluid to another fluid, that is hot fluid to cold fluid, either by direct contact or indirect contact in exchange manner. So based on the type of flow, they are like single, I mean parallel flow, counter flow, cross flow, and based on the passes, single pass, multiple pass, based on the contact, direct contact, indirect contact. We basically in the direct contact, direct contact, we have cooling tower is a direct contact type heat exchanger. In the indirect contact, we have tubular type, plate type, external surface. In that, mainly we use the shell and tube exchangers based on the tubes in the tube part, shell and tube exchanger, shell and tube and double by heat exchangers.
Okay.
You can classification based on many ways actually. Heat
Yes,
exchangers.
there are many
Based
classifications.
on,
Just one
phase
thing I
change
will be
also.
asking. Please, one basic question I will be asking you. Please draw the temperature versus length graph for counter flow heat exchanger.
Okay. Is the temperature? Can you see it?
Keep it somewhat near.
Please bring it
Yes.
more closer. Yeah.
Okay. You haven't mentioned TC. Okay, you have mentioned that.
This
Okay.
is hot temperature supply,
Yes,
this
yes.
is cold temperature.
Got seen. Now, if the case is ideal, suppose if the case is ideal, now plot the temperature versus length plot for ideal condition.
Ideal means
Ideal means like the cold fluid is getting fully hot. Okay, means like your TCI is equals to TCE is equals to THI.
that is the,
TCE,
I mean,
yes, TCE is equals to THI. Did you get now?
the exit temperature of the cold fluid actually equal to the inlet temperature of the
Inlet
hot
temperature
fluid.
of hot fluid, yes.
It actually looks like this, and it will intersect at the edge point, I think.
Yes. Where is T? T and X. Yes. Great. Okay.
What
Now,
what
yes.
are the advantages that counter flow heat exchanger
So I'm
offers
not able to hear
over
your voice. I'm not getting your voice.
what are the advantages that a counter flow heat exchanger offers relative to a parallel flow?
So actually, for same inlet and outlet temperatures, the driving force for the counter current always greater than the co-current. That's why for the same rate of heat transfer, the area for the counter
Wait,
flow
you said the driving force for a counter flow heat exchanger is higher than parallel flow.
parallel flow. Sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Draw
The
diagram
average
for both. Draw a diagram for parallel flow and counter flow.
So the first one is parallel flow, sir.
Correct.
The
Now,
second
what
one
is the
is a
driving force here? Correct. What is the
See,
driving
actually,
force here?
in the parallel flow, actually, initially the driving force is very high and actually decreases
Correct.
along the length. So
Correct.
when we take the average LMTD, that's actually very less compared to the counter current for the same inlet and outlet temperature. That's why the
Okay.
driving force is very high for this. So area
Okay.
for the same rate of heat transfer area.
Okay. All right. What are other ones? If you, what are the others?
What's
What
that?
are other advantages? What are other advantages?
For the counter flow.
Yes.
I mean, the area that we can be less for the same rate of heat transfer. Driving force is very high.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Uh, we actually calculate the true LMTD also based on using the counter flow LMTD correction data.
Well, that's not an advantage. That's just a way out to solve the problem. So you left out one very important one.
Important.
Actually two, but all right. I would definitely expect one of them. So the exit of cold fluid,
So actually,
exit of
I mean, there is no chance. That's actually the pinch, we can say that it won't cross the not that we can say. We can, I mean, exit fluid, I mean, cold fluid temperature can more than the exit temperature.
correct.
The exit
So
fluid
this is actually
exit harsh fluid temperature.
correct. This is the biggest advantage of counter current exchanger.
It is in parallel for because these are temperature cross.
Correct. So actually, this is the biggest advantage of counter flow exchanger. The rest, the LMTD, surface area, those come secondary, but this is the most important.
Okay.
One more thing you could add is, the driving force in a counter current heat exchanger. It is always constant, almost constant. So,
Constant
in
means
case,
when the mass fluid is the same, cold fluid and mass,
yes,
I mean, hot fluid mass capacity, then we can say that the LMTD is same throughout the length.
correct. So driving force is nearly similar throughout. So, because of that, you could get a same heating all over your heat exchanger. So in case, you need the heat transfer to be, very smooth. In that case, a progressive heat transfer, if that is needed, then we use counter current heat exchanger. But, the parallel flow heat exchanger, initially the, heat transfer will be very high, and along the length, it will reduce.
So I'm not getting your voice. Can you please little
Okay,
bit?
Jay sir?
Okay, Rajshekar, like
Yes, sir.
we will be concluding your interview. Okay, like questions, so we are having many more questions we are there to ask. Okay, we can ask you, right? But as of now, we will be stopping and concluding the topic here only. Rajshekar, like the feedback, if I would like to give you, like in the starting only, I said that you are elongating the answers, right? So which you stopped, okay? After that, conceptual clarity is very good. Something which I thought is missing is like your way of expression, means like expressing the topic or expressing the concept, not in much manner, but in little manner. Okay, in some way you are not exact to the point, like you are not means you are having the conceptual knowledge. Okay, that doesn't mean like you are not having, but when you were trying to impress it or when you were trying to express it, that was somewhat missing in my point of opinion. Okay, rest conceptual knowledge you are having full, no issues with that. I hope all the best for your interview. You will be cracking CPCL interview if थोड़ी थोड़ी ये माइनर पॉइंट अगर आपने ध्यान में रख लिए तो ठीक है. बाकी elongate आपको नहीं करना है, वो आप समझ गए बिल्कुल. You understand that. And yes, Subodh sir, from my side.
Okay, so I will switch off my camera because I think there is some internet, problem going on. So this will be a better thing to do. Okay. So number one, am I audible now clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm getting your voice.
Great. So number one, initially we asked you about CPCL. So whatever you said was really nice, but it was way too much detailed. Okay. So I mean, please keep it little brief because, the people sitting in front of you, they are working there since 10 years, 20 years, something like that. So they could counter question you heavily based on, what you had said.
Okay.
Especially, the incorporation date, just tell them the year. You don't need to go for, it was 10th of the May or something like that. Then the whole capacity thing, that CPCL produces this much capacity, who is the chairman, what, be very basic about it. Like, what, when it was incorporated, what's the purpose, then later on it was taken into IOCL, then what does it produce, where does it refineries exist, and I believe this much should be okay. Okay, don't go in way too much depth because this is simple. In technical questions, you can think, you can answer, but when it comes to information based questions, it's very hard, it's impossible to answer. If they ask you what do we do in Shimla refinery, there is no answer.
Yes.
Kind of. So be little brief about it. Second,
Okay, sir.
as Jayesh sir told, your answers go here and there a lot. Okay, so stick to the answer. The reason
Okay, sir.
this is important is that you don't get a lot of time in the interview. You get maybe 30,
Yeah, yes,
35,
yes.
40 minutes. And in that case, in case only you are talking a lot, in that case, the interviewer doesn't get a lot of chance to ask you questions.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. And
Okay, sir.
yeah, rest your technical is very nice. Maybe you can go through little bit of thermodynamics again. I can
Okay, okay.
understand being from chemical. Yeah, being from chemical, it could be little away from you right now. But given that
Yes, sir.
you will be giving interview in a chemical refinery. I think thermodynamics is very important. Thermodynamics and heat transfer, fluid mechanics. Okay, they will always ask you this.
Okay.
Rest, you are doing really well. Given
Thank
that you already have kind of an MTech degree from IIT Kharagpur,
Yes, sir.
so they all will also expect that level of knowledge from you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so given in case you would have been just a fresher out of BTech, that would have been a different case. So be a little more serious about it. You
Okay,
have
sir.
confidence, so that.